All right, so let's jump right in and talk about what's been going on with the SAG-AFTRA area strike against these big video game companies. Now, this all started way back in July of 2024, and as of right now, it's been, 250 days because they haven't been able to agree on a new interactive media agreement. Despite how long it's been dragging on, there are signs that things might actually be moving forward, at least a little bit behind the scenes. The biggest sticking point in all of this is that the union, they're really pushing hard for safeguards against using AI, generative AI, to basically replace performers. And for SAG-AFTRA, I mean, this is their top priority. This is it. If you're finding all this info useful, by the way, be sure to like and subscribe. So just recently, on March 26th, the bargaining committee representing all these video game companies, we're talking Activision Productions, Blind Light Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts Productions, for most interactive Insomniac Games, Llama Productions, Take-Two Productions, and WB Games, they all got together and they presented this updated counterproposal to SAG-AFTRA. And word on the street is that this new proposal actually addresses a lot of the main concerns that the union's been raising. So what's in this proposal? Well, for starters, the companies are saying they'll give wage increases, like over 15%, which is pretty significant. They're also talking about better health and safety measures for performers. And I think most importantly, this offer includes specific terms for how they would use AI digital replicas in games. Plus, they're saying they'll give more money to actors if their performance ends up being used in multiple games. And now the companies have even come out and said publicly that they're ready to get back to the negotiating table. So right now, SAG-AFTRA is going through this proposal and really looking it over carefully. And Duncan Crabtree Ireland, he's the National Executive Director for the union, well, he announced that they put out this big detailed document with all the proposals they've been going back and forth on. That includes obviously all the stuff about artificial intelligence, both what the union wants and what the companies are offering. It basically would be completely transparent about everything that's been happening. But the other thing is the union is also trying to point out what they're calling loopholes. They see these loopholes in the offer the companies have put forward, and they're especially worried about stuff around the use of digital replicas. They think this could end up really hurting job security for performers in the long run. Crabtree Ireland went on to say that the union is trying to make it really clear why they don't think the company's proposals, at least not yet, are strong enough to guarantee that, performers aren't any competing against their own digital selves for work in the future. So that's where things stand with the negotiations. But then, to add another wrinkle to all of this, SAG-AFTRA just recently introduced these two new agreements. They're called the Student Interactive Waiver Agreement and the Game Jam Waiver Agreement. This was just announced like around March 22nd of this year. Basically, these waivers are supposed to let union actors work on game projects by students or participate in game jams without it, like technically going against the strike. The main idea behind these waivers is to help out those who are just getting started in game development. It gives them a chance to work with professional actors. And at the same time, it gives union members some opportunities to keep working during the strike. Of course, there's some specific rules that these projects have to follow to qualify. But overall, the goal is for these agreements to be good for everybody involved. Actors can get work and new game developers get a little boost. Now, Duncan Crabtree Ireland has also mentioned that a formal boycott is still on the table. If they can't reach a deal with the video game companies, he's basically saying that even though negotiations are still going on, SAG-AFTRA is totally ready to launch a boycott if their committee thinks that's the way to go. But there's still hope that they can work things out without going that far. So you might be wondering, well, what can we do? How can we support these striking actors? Well, Crabtree Ireland has actually given a few suggestions. He said one way to help is to go directly to those game companies, like through their social media, through their customer service, and let them know how you feel about the strike, that you support the actors and what they're fighting for. Another way is to just show your support publicly, spread the word about what's happening. And he also said, if you really want to understand what's at stake here, go check out those documents that SAG-AFTRA release, the ones with all the proposals and their concerns about the offers the companies have made. The more people understand what's going on, the better. By the way, there's already some evidence that this strike is starting to affect how video games are being made. There were some reports saying that League of Legends, that game, they've been reusing old voice recordings because they can't get new ones done right now. And there was even a recent Destiny 2 episode that came out without all the voiceover work they were planning on. Oh, and Ashley Birch, she's the voice actress for Aloy and Horizon Zero Dawn, Well, she's been pretty vocal about her worries about AI, especially when it comes to how it's used in the industry. The thing that really bothers her is that there's not enough protection in place for actors if someone wants to use their likeness without permission. And she's worried that right now, if something like that happens, actors don't have many options for getting justice or anything. So basically, it seems like this SAG-AFTRA strike is going to keep going until they can get an agreement that they're happy with, one that has all the protections they think are necessary to prevent AI from being misused in video game performance. If you found this informative, be sure to like and subscribe for more in-depth content just like this. Thanks for listening.